another movie review. Hope you all are doing awesome. So this week I got a chance to see a movie that I've been actually waiting to see since February, and it's Heart Eyes, which came out in February right before Valentine's Day, and it's directed by Josh Rubin, and it stars Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding. I did not get a chance to make it to the theater to see this, and I was really devastated. But this past week I got a chance to sneak away and go see 3 movies in the theater, and this was one of those movies I was so surprised to see it was still there, because it just released on digital for rent and for purchase. It should be coming out soon on streaming, and if you can catch it in a theater near you, I definitely would say go ahead and go. Make it, a matinee and have a good time with it. But if you want to wait till streaming, that's fine. But this is definitely one that is worth your watch, especially if you are a fan of the horror genre, and especially if you like romantic comedies, because this blends the two really, really well. I really enjoyed myself watching this movie. I did not know that I would like it as much, and oddly enough, a lot of the people who I follow in the horror community, I didn't see them talking about it a lot. A lot of people were, I think, hoping for more of the killer. We'll get on more on that later, and whether this could be a new slasher classic, kind of in the same way that the Terrifier has emerged as Art the Clown being a new icon in the horror realm, and whether Heart Eyes could join the ranks. I do absolutely think that Josh Rubin did a really good job with bringing some fresh and fun and lighthearted, because horror doesn't always have to take itself so seriously. I think we're in this age where everyone wants to talk about intellectual horror, and I think there's a time and a place for that, but I like horror when it can make me laugh, when it's fun, when it gives me some good jump scares, but also I don't feel as though I'm running for my life the entire time that I'm in the theater. Apologize to the 2 ladies who were in front of me in the theater, because I did scream a couple of times in the theater when I had some jump scare moments. But listen, what is this movie all about? So it follows the Heart Eyes killer, a maniac who is stalking lovers on Valentine's Day. And the film opens up with a kill just straight out of, I think, like the horror genre, where they're in a quaint vineyard and a couple is getting engaged, and that's when we first get introduced to the killer and to the tools of his trade. He's got some arrows that he uses a la Cupid, and also a knife, or kind of a dagger. So a lot of like imagery to like Romeo and Juliet and Cupid, and a lot of love imagery in this if you make those connections. And then we see and hear the reports of people being afraid of going out on Valentine's Day because of the Heart Eyes killer. This is where we're introduced to Olivia Holt's character. She is an ad marketer for a jewelry company, and she ends up creating this ad that ends up doing horrible as it gets launched into the press. It's all about these classic iconic lovers and how their love all ended in death. Kind of the idea that love may not last forever, but jewelry will. You can definitely tell that she's kind of a cynic, and you can kind of tell that she's a cynic and someone who has dealt with some mismanaged love recently. And so the owner of the company brings in a freelancer named Jay. Her character's name is Allie. It was kind of giving me Allie McBeal. I don't know. Allie McCabe, I think is her name. So there you go. And they bring in this freelancer named Jay, played by Mason Gooding, who is like known for being like the master of love and just a wonderful ad person. And so she puts him in charge of Allie's project. When they meet for a work date, which is not really a date, but there's definitely some meet cute aspects of it, the Heart Eyes killer mistakes them for a real life couple and begins to hunt down. As they try to run from this maniac, they fall deeper and deeper in love with each other, or in like with each other, until we get to the iconic ending of the movie. Now listen, without giving too many spoilers away, this cast does a great job with this movie. Olivia Holt, I will watch her in almost anything, and her and Mason Gooding had a lot of great chemistry in this film. It's also got an appearance by Devon Sawa, which those who grew up in the 90s like me will remember Devon Sawa from films like Casper or from Now and Then. He was a bit of a heartthrob, and then of course probably one of his most iconic roles, and which really brought him into the horror genre, Final Destination, which oddly enough is getting a new revived life into it with Final Destination Bloodlines coming out this year. So excited about that. They have a lot of chemistry, Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt, and it's really easy to feel like you're watching them fall in love, but at the same time you're on the fence because you don't know if he's the killer, if she's the killer. It's giving very much Scream. But while there are all of these homages to other popular horror franchises, especially like the slashers of the late 90s and the early 2000s, there's also a lot of homages to classic romantic comedies. Everything from a dress transformation sequence where we actually get to see looks inspired by some of the classic looks from some of those romantic comedies. There's a dress that resembles the black dress that Julia Roberts wore in the restaurant scene of Pretty Woman. There's a Clueless inspired look that gives Dion from Clueless. So that was one of my favorite moments of the film. I actually would love to go back and be able to watch that again and see what references I missed, because I was trying to pick up on all of them, but it was very overwhelming because it was my first time watching the movie. And then at the end, there's this wonderful montage where they're literally just name dropping a litany of titles from classic romantic comedies. Like, this is just a fun movie. It's a great date night movie, and a great movie perhaps for people who aren't super fun of horror, but are willing to kind of dabble a little bit more into the comedic romantic comedy aspects of the film. This is definitely, I think, a film that they would enjoy watching. I would give this movie a solid B+. What it attempts, it does well. Also visually, the cinematography was done very, very well. The shooting of this movie and the things that they thought about adding into the film, such as there's a drive-in movie theater sequence which really made me think of Grease. There are some things, however, that I didn't love about the movie. I didn't love the reveal of the killer, and if you do see the movie, it's not a bad reveal per se. It's actually one that was pretty predictable in regards to who the killer and or killers end up being. However, I didn't love it. That said, it leaves a lot of room for them to continue this franchise and to kind of have more versions of Heart Eyes in the same way that we got more versions of Ghostface in Scream. And so that made a lot of sense with what they were doing with this film. It's a film that would, I think, hold weight as a standalone, but definitely I wouldn't mind going next Valentine's Day and seeing Heart Eyes too. So let me know in the comments if you've already watched Heart Eyes. Did you enjoy it? And if you haven't, do you plan to give it a look? Go see it this weekend if it's still playing near you. Hopefully I gave you a movie to watch that you'll enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Toodles!